All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. We're going to do a little practice scrimmage for the Global Tank League. This is Sinister Phase, and I'm also here with Clone Guy and Godadingy, who's going to be streaming tonight. So tonight, it's going to be an 8 versus 8 Tier 10 battle. It's going to be Immortal slash Panda going up against Chiefs once again. This is going to be the first time that an 8 versus 8 format's been played. So with that said, we're going to get the teams picking up here. And yeah, I'm going to turn it over to Clone Guy, see what he has to say for the night.
Well, I'm certainly excited. With the 8 versus 8, I feel there's an extra tank to be chosen, and so I feel maybe more artillery is going to be used in this kind of combat, or maybe something sneaky like maybe a light tank or a Death Star. I think there's a lot more picks to be chosen with an 8 versus 8 instead of a 7 versus 7, because you get that extra tank. So I'm pretty excited to see what both teams decide.
Yeah, we figured this would kind of add a brand new element to the game, so it's going to be a little bit different than I think what anybody's ever played before, and what anybody's ever really seen. We figured it would just add something new to the game that hasn't been done, and yeah, I'm excited. It adds for a whole new element. Flanks are going to be a little bit different. Also, only having 2 max of any tank. That's a big limiter. You're not going to see 5 bat chats running around. You're not going to see 3 IS-7s. However, you still may see 2 E4s. So, yeah, that's still a possibility. And, oh, they had picked a map, and I totally forgot to put the map up, so here we go. That's first and foremost, I guess. All right. So both of these teams made the playoffs in WCL. I think Panda made it to the second round. Or maybe even the third round. I know that they beat the third round. I'm sorry, they made it to the third round because they did beat NL in the third round. And Chiefs also made it to the second round and lost to Up. All right, the map up. There we go. That's what they needed. And we're gonna be off. So technically, these guys have 3 minutes to start picking tanks and select tanks. There's no order in which they have to pick tanks. If anybody also has any questions, feel free to just ask away on Twitch, and I will be more than happy to answer anything I see. Keep in mind there is a 10-minute delay, so it may take 11 minutes for me to answer your question. But of course, nobody's looking right now. We've still got 10 minutes.
Yep.
All right.
Numbers.
That's not what I want to listen to. All right.
Okay. Now I have my thing all set up. Thingamajigger. Oh, there we go.
And they're asking about standard versus encounter. It's all encounter mode. He might not have been aware of that, but he is now. He might not have been informed, but oh shoot, I accidentally kicked one of their guys. I just realized what I did. And we'll get him back in here. There we go. My bad, buddy. You guys think of this new update that came out today, the mercenary tanks? Honestly, I think the garage looks pretty cool. I like the new setup and everything, but what do you guys think of the way it played out?
I like it. I think it adds something new. Like I know a lot of people were complaining in the forum saying, "Oh, it's just copy paste," but no, it gives you something to do, an objective in the game, which is all of these new contracts you have to go for. And I personally like it, and it'll definitely tie us over till the end of summer when the big balance update's supposed to come out with the WZ 111.5A and the Super Conqueror. So I think it was a good choice.
I'm still a little bit indecisive on it. I do think the maps look a lot better, even though there were small changes. As far as the tanks they introduced, that's yet to be determined.
Yeah, I kind of like the way that you can earn the premium tank. However, I do think there's some changes they could have made, not necessarily to the mercenary part of it, but just fixing some things that should be fixed, like the double assault and even the two tanks that we've been promised for a while. I'm sure they're coming. I'm sure this was probably a big focus for them in trying to get people back, but so far not bad. I haven't really had a chance to play much. I only played a game or so on it. If I could actually pick the right map.
What, did they not? Did you have the war
I had it
variant
on the
going or
war
something?
variant.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh. They said north. I'm pretty sure I had them on the north spawn, but we'll go ahead and flip it over. Left side should be north, from what I read. But again, I could be wrong, as my list may be outdated. Yeah, let's just do that. All right.
I'll send you a
Yeah, I've already
screenshot,
hit like
Dingy.
2 or 3 different.
Whoops, I have everything coming out of my PC speakers.
Oh man, I've probably hit about 4 or 5 strikes by now. But let me go back and look at this. I could have sworn that I had everybody on the right spawns already. Yeah, left side encounter spawn locations. Siege. Left side is north. Right side is south. They tell me I had them on the wrong spawns. I guess we will see.
Okay. And Discord. I will put it in the streamers. Just how I have mine set up. Oh, it's BMK.
All right, they're starting to pick up some tanks now. Here we go. E3 from Murphy Mahler. Oof. So I think what you're going to see on this map is traditionally this is a heavy tank map. You probably get a couple of bat jets in the field from both teams, but I think what you're going to see here versus what you would see in a standard no holds bar 7 versus 7 is just the difference of not having 3 IS-7s or 3 E-100s.
Yeah. The 2 tank limit, I think, is going to be interesting too. I like the 2 tank limit. I think 3 was, it was always IS-7s, bat chats, and an E4. I think that was it. That was what everyone chose. That was the default. That setup can go well on almost any map. But now this is going to be different because you can only get 2 tanks, or you can only pick 2 of the same tank. Therefore, you have to have at least 4 different tanks. So.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Oh, it makes a big difference. There's a little cheat sheet for these guys just so they can see what I was looking at. Maybe I just got some bad intel, but I was pretty sure that on Siege, the left side was north. I guess we're about to find out. And it looks like we're ready. 1, 2. Waiting on one more tank from Chiefs, and we're going to get the ball rolling.
Fantastic.
All right.
I'm going to get so into it. Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
I'm
Here's
just
battle
gonna,
number one.
start going.
And once again, I want to welcome everybody who may be joining in live. This is just a practice scrimmage for GTL. Tonight we're just trying out the stream, trying out various things, and well, here we are in game one, playing on Siege Line, and it's going to be Chiefs going up against a Pandas/Immortals team. And I guess those guys are right. I don't know how I messed that up. I guess I got some bad intel on that little link I posted in the general chat.
Oh, Decisive joined Chief. I didn't even realize it.
He did.
What a traitor. And
So
Fisk.
I think
Where
here.
do I know him from?
I'm not sure.
He was in the clan I was in. I can't remember which one I was in. But regardless. All right, so.
I think we're gonna
what do we
see.
have? Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was
yeah,
gonna
the
say.
Chief. They go to 2-2-2-2 set up right now. Pairs of everything. Immortals, see, Immortals brings out a 13105. I think because of this extra tank, they have more ability to do something like that.
And that's a smart
Gets
play
the
if you can
bat
get
chest
down that
spotted.
line fast enough. Exactly. If he can get on those two E4s and that T57 heavy, they could be in trouble, especially with a bat chat right behind him. He's
Bat
creeping
Jet's
up
so
for it.
spotted. Doesn't realize
That's what's
that.
keeping. No, there it is.
There we go, he's going down.
Ooh.
Doesn't pack a fire extinguisher in competitive. Always take a fire extinguisher, guys. That loses games, not taking fire extinguishers. Like, ugh. Now they're down a tank already. Fast one, too.
That's big too.
Bat
That's
jet.
big being down
Yeah.
a bat chat. 0 damage taken from the Immortal so far, and Chiefs is down a tank. They do have that bat
The
chat sitting in the
E4s are
back still.
spotted now. 13105 is now spotted as well, though. He's trying to find some shots. He is finding shots, actually, into the E4. He puts one into him, and now he's going for the reload. Decisive Power puts a shell into the mouse, but, oh, Captain is going down. He's getting clipped now by Smill and his bat chat. He's just got one hit, pretty much, like, what, 10 hit points now. He gets
Ouch.
clipped out by the bat chat. Barely surviving that one. Bat chat for Chiefs puts a shell into 13105 and spots him. Of course, he put a shell in, he probably spotted him. Murphy Muller and his E3 is now coming around the corner. They've kind of corralled them in, which gives the E3 the ability to fight everybody from the front, which makes them very deadly. Which I think was their plan all along, was to spread their tanks out to allow the E3 to fight them from the front.
You know what's shocking though is there's no cap timer. We can't see the timer. I just noticed this.
Oh,
Those
you're
guys
right.
have been sitting on the cap for a
They
number of
have been,
seconds.
but
I don't know
it
how
looks
long was
like
left.
They've been reset because, yeah, they're
Oh, yeah.
falling
Yeah,
back.
they've
They've
definitely
been
been
reset.
reset.
Now they're getting corralled. TBG Anarchy has a full magazine. He's gonna go in. He's gonna clip down, not clip him out completely, but he's gonna put a lot of 4 shells probably into this 57 heavy. No, he actually only.
Well,
has
Frank's
2
to
shells left in
reload.
This tank. Backchat comes in. He puts down. He's putting down the E4. Now he's putting down the 113, or maybe not. No, he changes his attention instead to the bat chat behind. And now
They're
he's
just
going for
bypassing
reload.
the C3.
A3 puts a shell into rated M. Quite a big hit there. The 113 is now coming around the corner to put a shell into the E3, but from that range and that gun depression, you're never going to penetrate an E3's lower plate. It's just too thick, even with the heat. I7 puts a shell into the 57 Heavy, who's now finished off by the E3. The 113 actually put a shell into the lower plate of the E3, which is something I wasn't expecting from that kind of a range. Yes, he did. He hit right next to the tracks. It was a good shot there. Immortals do lose a couple tanks. They lose TBG Anarchy goes. No, he doesn't. He kills someone. Oh, I'm getting confused. Spicy Tank is now going to chase down IB Stucks.
IB
What does that
Stucks.
mean? IB Stucks. All right. One shot gets put into him by TBG Anarchy, who's now on the reload. But now everybody can shoot him. He's kind of put himself right in the middle of everyone. Not sure why there, but he does kill off Maximus, but not before, well, not before the game was over.
Ouch. Good game out to Immortals. Bringing it home.
Yes, that first spot in that
I
match
really
was
think-
pretty much game deciding.
I was going to say, I think that first couple of minutes there where they got that bat chat out of the game, that's crucial. You're taking away an autoloader, a 6-shot autoloader essentially out of the game and not getting punished for it at all. That was huge right off the bat. But, you know, I'd like to think just watching how long that Chiefs was on the cap, that it must have been danger close to being a cap out. Of course, there is no cap timer on this.
Okay, we can check. Okay, so defense 21, defense 29. So they got it up to 60, it looks like. Or 50. They got it up to 50. So it was halfway there. We have the E4 in the bat chat. For Chiefs do 0 damage. They both got spotted by the light tank and then ripped apart by, well, the bat chat and the 13105.
Yeah, that was huge. That light tank really proved to be the difference. And again, it's a different strategy for everybody. I mean, nobody's really played 8 versus 8, so it's a whole different feel-out process too. I wonder if we see Chiefs this time go with the light tank. They got some good light tankers on their team. They got some world-class players on their team as well, so they're going to get it under control this game, I'm going to have to imagine. And let's see what they come out with. And while we're waiting for that, once again, I just want to touch on Global Tank League. So it's going to be an 8 versus 8 league. There's going to be 3 different divisions to it. There's going to be the Championship League, the Pro League, and the Intermediate League. So these leagues will each have 10 teams in them. The Intermediate League may have more than 10 teams in it. Eventually, the goal is to get those 3 leagues with 10 teams each, while having, while having a casual division full of the other teams that will be competing in, if you will, seasons. I don't like to say a tournament because this is going to be 18 games, an 18-game season. You're going to play everybody in your division home and away, and then they're going to have the playoffs for the top 8 teams from each division to crown a winner of that division. The top 2 teams moving on to the upper division, the bottom 2 teams getting demoted to the division below. So it's kind of like, imagine like European football meets American football in a sense. It's going to have pre-seasons and off-season, of course, and we're going to try to stream as many games from that as we can. The ultimate goal is to come up with different pricing than what you've seen before. It's not going to be based on you're going to get a premium tank, you're going to get X amount of silver. We're actually going to try to give away cash to winning teams. So that's something I want everybody to be aware of. And also, for anybody that was unaware, there is a website. If you go to One Extra Life, which is ONEXTRA life.com. You can check out the website there. You can see a list of all the rules and even some upcoming tournaments, like our 3 versus 3 tournament that we're going to try to do once a month, as well as other tad bits that'll be posted from time to time. So just make sure to check it out. And looks like we are ready for round 2. So this time, Clone Guy, do you want to go down the Immortals side and just go over their tank list, and I will go over Chiefs?
Sure thing. They've got, once again, they're pulling out the AMX 13105, a pair of Batchats, 2 IS7s, a Karanvong this time instead of, I think, what did they have last time? A Mouse, I believe. Then they have an AMX 13 or an AMX 50B, and then the 113.
And over on the Chief side, you got Captain Halty coming out in a 263, Decisive Power in a T100 light tank, TCF Skyhawk and IB Stux both coming out in Bat Chats, Rated M coming out in the TVP T5051, War Turbo coming out in an IS7, Frankster and Telefisk in 113s. And here we go. We're going to get this off for game 2. And we're off.
Yeah.
So game 2. Yes, you do. I'm listening to it in the background. Game 2. this time. Last time we saw Immortals come through the field with that 13-105, and they were able to clip out a bat chat rather early in the matchup. Chiefs went for the cap, and it got reset. I think Clone Guy did the math, and they were at 64. So let's see what happens this time through.
All right, there I added. Oh no, it's in the way now. Okay, never mind that. Forget that. I wanted to add the website to my HUD, but there's actually no room for it. I'll find a spot for it sometime. All right, this time it looks like Immortals are sending even more tanks down the field. Like, yeah, both IS-7s.
The whole team.
Yeah.
Sauce is going to get out of there. He gets spotted.
He's not
by
spotted.
Storm, he's in trouble.
I don't think he will. He's faster than them, and he's got a better camera rating. So he's gonna stay one step ahead of them, which is good. I think that T100 was a good counter to their AMX 13105.
Immortals is going to be in big trouble if Chiefs make
They
it to
should
the
line up
cap.
on the
They're going to have to
ridge.
fight their way back in. And
Oh
if they
yeah,
can
and
get
what
shots
I
down.
think they could have done is they could have probably lined up on the ridge and gotten some shots off with their light tank scouting like that. They probably could have lined up on the ridge and shredded the bat chat in the 13105. But they have a 263 this time around. I think it was the counter to their E3.
To their
But they
E3,
didn't pick
yeah.
an E3
I know,
this time.
absolutely. Oh, and there you go. They're going to get 3 tanks up in the cap again. And they're going to get some support from that 263, who does have just a little bit of mobility, so. Let's see what happens. They get their bat chat and TV. They got both bat chats in the TVP out on the flank, looking for that 113 and IS-7 to be coming around. So they have potential to catch them in a crossfire right here.
Yeah, I think these bat chats in 13105 are about to clip someone out. They're kind of moving in a pack, and I have a feeling they're about to pounce on somebody, maybe. Maybe not, though. Looks like they thought about it, but now that they've lit up the rest of the team, they realize it's not the best idea. The TVP is not getting clipped out, though. 13105 is putting shells into him, though he takes quite a few shells in return, both from the IS-7 and the TVP. Both put shells in the 13105. The 13105 is now missing a bit of hit points. The spicy tank also pokes up and takes a hit from what looked like the T100 LT, who snapped a shot in, but now we have Murphy Mahler coming up behind. He was about to come up behind the tanks in the cap circle, but there are 2 bat chats sitting in the corner of the map who've now caught his side and have ammo racked him. He's now caught out and not doing well for health. But it looks like he's gonna go down swinging.
Desert
He's
Storm
gonna probably kill
done.
the TVP. The TVP goes down. The bat chats at 50B and Kronvang are all going in after these tanks in the cap circle. Oh, it's just gonna be. They're just unloading, and with the 2 bat chats out of play, they realize 2 bat chats are on the other side of the map. There's nothing they can do, so they realize they have the overmatch in the town. So they're moving in. The Kronvang, though, gets tracked. He does fix it, but not before he takes some huge damage. Smill puts a shell into War Turbo, finishing him off. Now it's just Tethys, who's pretty much by
bounced on the
himself.
bat.
He now takes hits from the 113, but the Murphy Mahler is taking hits from the 263, who's putting in very effective fire. This game is still very close. In fact,
It is.
Chief is up on hit points, and that 113 is in a very good position because he's keeping their
Spicy's gonna be in
sides to
trouble.
this 263. Milo moves in, but now he's getting destroyed by the bat chats. Once again, the bat chats in their position just seem to know the angles from this side of the map, at least. They were able to put their bat chats in
Decisive loses
position
to Spicy.
to counter the cap counter. Now this 263 has been putting in work. Let's see what this 113 is able to do now. The Kronvang is a bit scared. They've got Immortals has a bat chat out down in the field by himself. 113 finally goes down. He gets finished off by TBG Anarchy in his 50B, and now he's going to try to clip out the 263. Puts a shell in the 263. He's now got 2 shells left. 263 has now made it to his corner where it looks like he's going to hide for a little bit. The Immortals do not have many hit points left. Now the 263 is
he's
getting
good.
clipped out by the bat chat. He takes a shell, fires a shell off, misses. But they still have 2 full health bat chats. What the bat chats, in my opinion, should do is definitely just reload and execute someone. In fact, they could reload and kill 2 tanks. If they both went in together, kill the Kronvang, kill the 113, and then get out.
They got enough. They got enough health and enough HP to do it.
Full
Or, I mean,
health.
enough ammo to do it. Yeah. That's 12 rounds.
Yeah, they have the hit points. They need to they need to make a play with these back chats. But look,
They need to get spicy.
they
out of it,
can't
is what they
trade
need
like
to
how
do.
they're doing it. They cannot keep trading. They keep going in. They have to, in my opinion, I think they should move to the 8 line, come in right behind the
Ooh.
Kronbong. Down goes the 263. And now the Bat Chats, in my opinion, have lost their opportunity. They had
got
everybody
spicy
was
out. That was
spotted.
huge.
They knew where everyone was. But unfortunately, they decided to sit there fighting from the front. Now they're both on reloads. The 50B is almost reloading. He's probably going to capitalize on this as he's going to find most of his shots. The Kronbong is now loaded. He misses his first shell, but he's probably not going to miss many more after that one. He hits the second, tracks him. He gets finished off by Maximos. Hits his next shell. He's hitting all his shells now. Yes, the 50B is also hitting his shells, and he goes down.
There it is.
Oof.
Game 2. All right, so now we are going to go on to Immortals map. And we're going to see what they want for a map. I think that was some good games. I think both teams played well.
They did. I think the Bat Jets at the beginning of the game, perfect positioning, completely countered the counter. Because they wanted to take out the people in the cap circle, and those two Bat Jets executed anyone who tried to reset. But then when the game became late, they were both reloaded, both had full health. 263 was taking all the hits, but the Bat Jets never capitalized. They hid behind their building, and I think they could have come out, executed the Kronbong, and executed the 113, pulled away, and then it's a 2v2.
I think what they had to
And
do
they
was
had
get
the
those two
health.
Bat Chats. As soon as Immortals started to push, those two Bat Chats needed to get over towards where Immortals was coming from and try to get them behind them. It's at that point where you make those tanks make a decision. Are they going to turn their guns around and start shooting at the Bat Chats or ignore them? And at that point, you just kind of make them make a choice. Either they pay from getting hit from behind by the Bat Chats, or you leave the front, you turn around and have somebody deal with those Bat Chats, or even send your own Bat Chats after them. But they originally had great positioning, and they were able to capitalize on Murphy Mahler. However, at that point, they just needed to just reposition themselves.
Yes.
And they want to play Ghost Town. All right.
Ghost Town.
We're okay with that. Let's see what Rated wants for a spawn. All right, so changing the map over to Ghost Town. All right. And also another quick note for anybody tuning in right now, if you own a clan logo and you own the rights to the logo and you would like to put it for sale on our website, which is oneextralife.com, we do have a online store. You're more than welcome to just get in touch with me, Sinister Phase, let me know, and I would be more than happy to add your logo to a t-shirt, to water bottles, coffee cups, hoodies, gym bags, whatever it may be that you can kind of put a logo on and sell it in our store. This is something that we're going to have that is going to help fund future prizing for this league and some of the upcoming tournaments. Also, if you would take a look at the website, you'll see that there's going to be a place for the Hall of Fame, which will be dedicated to the top players, top teams, players that win awards, and you'll also see where we'll be tracking stats for players in the league. So a question that I was asked was, what kind of stats will we be tracking? And that's a very good question. So some of the stats that we'll be tracking: kills, damage output, wins in the games that you play in. Shit, put everybody in the wrong side. East side of lobby.
And it's also going to help fund my 6-digit salary that I'm getting paid to do this. So.
Correct.
Yeah. I almost talked them into a 7-digit, but we settled on something like that. So, obviously, the rules are not quite set in stone, right? Because that's why we're doing these tests and stuff.
Most of the rules are set in stone. However, yes, that is why we're doing this.
Okay, because I had just a random idea. That's probably not, but maybe. So, is there like a time limit, like 3 minutes to pick your tanks, or 4 minutes, or something like that?
Yes. So if in the rules, it is stated that there'll be a 3-minute time limit. However, on a night like tonight, doing a practice script, we're not really going to hold them to the 3-minute timer, especially with the update coming out, or the update that just came out. causing people to be late. Totally understandable.
Mhm.
But in the future,
Okay.
yes, during a regular match, that will be tracked.
What if we had a fog of war where everybody's a spectator until we're about to start?
You know, I thought about that, and I like that. It's always been a great idea. However, I think that the one thing I've noticed in playing in some of these events before with playing in some of these events before with the fog of war, I have noticed that you're not always sure if you've actually selected a tank. So a lot of times when you're on specking, it's almost guaranteed every match somebody isn't going to have a tank selected that was supposed to select a tank because you never know,
Hmm.
or you can't see what everybody's picked. And when you get up to this many people, it is extremely difficult, especially with a tank limit, to say, okay, how many IS-7s do I have again, or how many 113s do I have again? And that part gets tricky.
Okay.
And if anybody remembers when Damage JC first came out with his Clan Wars, not the one that recently ended, but the one before that, which was about this time last year, he had the Fog of War in a 10 on 10, and as a clan leader, I can tell you it was very difficult to select tanks not knowing who's picked what and having to select 10 tanks. It can be a real pain. All right, looks like we are just about ready for game number 3. Right now, Immortals is up 2-0, and I guess the only way you can look at it like this is Chiefs made one fatal mistake early in the first game, and they lost a bat chat right off the bat. In game 2, it was right down to the wire the whole way. I actually thought at one point that it was definitely going to be Chiefs' game. However, Immortals was able to make a comeback and take advantage of it, and we'll see how it plays out here on Ghost Town. And again, while we're waiting, I'm sorry I kind of got off on a little tangent there, but going back onto my player stats. So somebody had asked me again what kind of player stats we're going to track. Damage, kills, games won, games lost. Um, Anything that you can really see in a battle screen will be tracked. We'll keep track of it as good as we can. There will be various awards being handed out to players that excel in certain categories of that. And once again, our ultimate goal is to pay people actual money for some of these awards. But again, that'll be down the line. For now, though, we're just going to focus on what we got here. All right, looks like both teams are ready. So Immortals, Murphy Mauler coming out with a T110E4, a Spicy Tank coming out with a Bat Chat, as well as Smill, also in a Bat Chat, Milo in an IS-7, Desert Storm and a T57 Heavy, Badger Smokes Cobra in a Moss, TBG Anarchy, AMX-50 Bravo, and Maximus 92 in a 113. And Clone, if you want to do Chiefs.
Sure, we got Frankster in his T110E4 and Rated M as well. Then we got a pair of Bat Chats by Skyhawk and IB Stux. Then we have in a T57 Heavy, War Turbo, and Captain is in a Mouse. Then we have Decisive Power and the only ball in 113s.
Right before we start the game, they asked for the room to be opened. So I'm going to go ahead and give that to them.
Okay.
So Ghost Town's one of those symmetrical maps where I don't really think it matters which side you start on. There's good strategies for both sides of the map. Notoriously in competition, this has always been a tiebreaker map, and I've always liked it as a tiebreaker map because, well, there's really no one clear-cut advantage for either side.
Definitely not. I wouldn't be surprised if the Immortals, Smill especially, goes for a sneaky boost down in Alpha 1. I know he's tried that
Yep.
before, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does it again. spicy tank as
Don't be
well.
surprised if you see Ivy Stucks go for a boost. Well, I guess not from this side. It's not gonna
It is actually
be as
possible
crucial,
from this
but
side. Same spot. You can do it in Alpha 3 and get up there. And that spot is works very well from both sides. But the Batchats are both going to the same flank on the opposite end of the map. And both teams kind of look like they're headed that way. We've got a couple tanks from Chief headed towards the middle. Let's see if they try to catch the Immortals as they cross the 8 line. Smill gets
here we go. Looks
spotted.
like we're gonna have a battle.
Oh boy. So if once those Batchats fall back, this 57 Heavy is going to be in position to put shots in. If the Batchats fall back.
He's gonna get
both
the 50
Batchats
Bravo
are
when he comes
smart.
through. He's gonna hit the 50. Here it comes.
Oh boy,
Oh,
Smill
nope.
is getting smoked. The 113s are in position. They're missing their shots though, unfortunately. But here comes the 50B. 50B is fully loaded. He's got to put shells in. Down goes.
Ooh.
Oh man, he's just getting destroyed. They pushed straight through, and unfortunately, they didn't have the support they were hoping for. Spicy Tank's gun gets damaged, and because of that, he misses his last shell on the Batchat, and he does not get away. He gets shut down by TVG Anarchy, who saved his shells and made them count, and picks up, I think, 2 kills.
Yeah, that was critical right there. That was critical. On this map, I don't think the Batchats are as crucial at this point in the game as some of the heavy tanks are.
Yeah,
But however, they just lost their speed and their vision. But this is a really condensed map, so they should still be okay.
I mean, now the Batchat's kind of a free range to move around. The Chiefs are getting, looks like, kind of corralled. They do have room to break out the back, though. So I think what I would do with the Batchats is have them flank around the town and just keep these guys corralled in one corner. What I think really didn't help was the fact the 113s and E4 were in position to shoot those Batchats, but they all missed their shots. In my opinion, Smill should be dead, and then the other Batchat could have been dead too if the E4 hit him. So this could have been even, but unfortunately a lot of misses from the Chiefs side cost them there.
Oh, absolutely. Desert just lost his engine to the Moss with Captain Alti.
Or Turbo puts a shell into Murphy Mauler with his 57 Heavy. Frankster is coming around the corner. He's going to put a shell in, most likely this E4. I think they're going to trade with each other here. We're going to see what happens. He changed. Okay, here we go.
Oh, they're making a push on the backside.
To the side. Here comes the Mouse coming to kill, or should I say the 57 Heavy coming to kill the Mouse. The Mouse is getting buttered right now. Though he's doing pretty well. The 57 Heavy only managed to pen a couple of shells, and he returns shell there. The Spicy Tanker puts a shell into the Mouse, most likely firing heat, which definitely on a city map you would want to do with the Batchat if you're going to be fighting a Mouse from the front. He's putting shells in, and he does finish off the Mouse. And now Chiefs are down 3 tanks. E4, Murphy Mauler's almost loaded. He should beat Frankster's reload and finish him off. We're going to see. It's going to be close. They both fire at the same time. Murphy misses the shell, and Frankster puts in a big hit into Murphy Mauler. Frankster should beat his reload again and maybe finish off Murphy Mauler. We will find out. Unless Milo comes around the corner and finishes him off, he's going to have to because he's about to finish off, and he does go down. Unfortunately for Chief, they're unable to kill the E4. Rated M comes around the corner to finish him off, but Murphy Mauler's able to whip it off a little bit faster. Now the 113s are surrounded, doing once again too little, too late.
This was neck and neck all the way until this last point. Even though they'd lost 2 tanks early, it was still very, very close.
And decisive
it was
takes
just
the
this
fire
last little
extinguisher,
part.
which is a good choice, guys. Take fire extinguishers.
Yes, absolutely. And there's the top pop on the only ball. Good game going out to both
damage
teams.
spread.
Yes, definitely a great damage spread from Immortals. Good games going out to both teams. Both teams played great. And really, at this point, it just came down to a couple of things. And it really could have gone either way, especially in those last 2 games. So definitely some great games. I'm going to ask these guys if they want to finish out or if they want to call it right there. So let's see what they want to do. Let me see what Rated and Immortals want to do.
Now, are there certain maps that aren't allowed in this, or what is it?
I did post a link in the Tonight Room, and once again, it is listed in the rules on the website. We're gonna have to re-edit that. Excuse me. We're gonna have to re-edit that right before the season starts. Right now, it's just kind of generalized, and again, everything is just kind of generalized. There'll be some changes coming. Everybody will be able to. One of the big things we want to do is we want to get the community involved. We want the input from the community, and we want to do what's best for everybody. So we're always looking for input, and we're always looking for people to say, this is a good idea or this isn't a good idea, um, or just what you want to see. In all honesty, that does appear to be it. I want to say again, thank you for both teams for coming out, especially Immortals and Panda for coming out on such short notice. Tonight was originally supposed to be Chiefs going up against New Beginning. However, New Beginning unfortunately could not make it tonight. No problem, no worries. This game doesn't really mean anything. This is just kind of a friendly script.
Yep, no problem, guys. Anytime.